Good morning, you bad, beautiful bitches. You. It is Wednesday morning. My wife and I back at it again, answering your Q&A. Hello. Little pregnancy update. We are currently in the second trimester.
Good job. How many do we have left?
Just the one.
Good job.
Just the one. Just trimester 3. Back to you. You're glowing, wife. You look great.
Thank you. It's so funny.
Wow.
Actually, that's one thing. In our comments, we get a lot. Everyone was convinced we were having a boy because they say girls take your beauty. So usually you're just like pregnant everywhere, not just in the belly and like breakouts and all this stuff. And they're like, no, you have that glow. Like you're definitely having a boy. And I'm like, I think she's just taken everything else from me, the passing out, everything else from me. She's letting me keep the glow. So I'm loving that.
Your skin looks great.
Thank you. I know. And well, not to say I know,
For
but like
girls struggling with acne, would you recommend they just get pregnant?
well, could go the other way. So I don't know about that one.
Gang.
I will say, but since I posted, thank you.
Proactive ad here.
Well, not what I'm using, but yeah, it could be.
Hanging with the purpose. Knows that.
A lot of people, when they found out, because I posted how, so I wasn't able to have dairy or gluten. And then when you get pregnant, your placenta actually weakens your immune system so that it doesn't, honey.
Sorry.
You're going to have to see it come out of me. But anyway, so your placenta actually weakens your immune system so that your body doesn't attack the baby. So a lot of people, like a lot of their conditions going, like I know a girl whose lupus went into remission. So I can now have dairy and gluten.
I have uncle lupus.
Right. And so many people are like, do I just need to get pregnant so I can enjoy cheese? And I'm like, I'm not saying do it, but
wow.
I'm loving it.
God, when you think of how useless the male body is compared to the female body.
You had like your minute of fame.
Huh?
I said you had your minute of fame.
Oh, minutes being pretty generous, you know? But like, what does the male body do? We are like just bags of milk walking through life.
You determine gender.
Do we?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, because each of your sperm either has an X or a Y chromosome, where my eggs only have, well, just the X's. So depending on which sperm of yours connects with my egg, it's either girl or boy. So yeah, you determine gender.
Boom! The male body is pretty cool, huh?
Here we go.
All right, we are answering your Q&A questions. If you're ever like, how do I get involved in this Q&A? You can go to either Ashley's Instagram or my Instagram. Before we record, look out for our stories. We'll put a Q&A text box up.
Yep.
Where you can submit your Q&A. We will take the best of the best, the cream of the creme
de la creme.
There it is.
Is that actually what it is? Oh, okay.
Creme de la creme. The best of the best is all I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Would you like me to start, or would you like to start?
Yeah, you go for it. You look like you have one ready.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, this one kind of volleys to you. How long did it take you guys to get pregnant? Were you guys scared ever of infertility?
So, do you want me to start with this one?
Yeah.
So, scared of infertility is one that, like, this is the perfect way to start it. So, I was diagnosed with endometriosis when I was 15. I've already had 3 laparoscopic surgeries to burn the tissue off. So very early into our conversation, like I told you about, our relationship, we had conversations about that because not only does it affect your fertility, it also affects like your sex life in a relationship before that.
And when we first met and you said endometriosis, I thought it was like some sort of spell.
Yeah, he didn't even know what it was. He was like, no problem.
Oh, she went to Hogwarts. Really cool. Anyway, back to you.
So that was something that, you know, and I've talked about this a lot on like my page and TikTok and stuff. We were both very fortunate. We did not have to go through active infertility during our TTC journey. And, you know, I wish I could cure that for everyone, and I hope we never have to go through that. However, from 15 to 29, my whole life, like from 15 to 29, I truly was not sure if I was going to be able to get pregnant. So that has been a fear and a conversation of ours, our whole relationship and my whole life. And like, I never wanted to believe the positive stories, I think, because I'm more of a realist and you're more of an optimist. Mm-hmm. You're a realist as well, but you definitely have more.
Oh, it's all jingle bells up here, sister.
Right. So you were really great at like trying to instill in me, like, we are going to get pregnant. We will have a baby. And I was like, no, I know we will. I just don't know how long it's going to take. But that's also why we started trying right away, because we were like, okay, with my diagnosis, we only had to try for 6 months but we could start seeking other options, where some other people have to try longer. But But I emailed my doctor at the 6-month mark and I was like, we need to come in for blood work. And 2 days later, we got that positive pregnancy test. So it took us 6 cycles or so to get pregnant. And we got really fortunate. But I mean, we've like counted our blessings. We've prayed every morning, every night for this. So, yeah.
Be careful what you wish for. Just get it out.
Were you ever, I mean, you, like I said, you were always so positive. Like in the back of your mind, was there ever, not like a worry, like you knew we were going to get pregnant, but did you ever think like, oh, we might have to start?
No, it didn't even, it literally didn't even, you and I talk about this a lot. Like, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, like law of attraction or whatever. I knew we were going to, similar to Ash and I were on a walk a couple days ago talking about this. And before I moved into the apartment that I'm in now, when we were newly dating through text, I would not jokingly, but more kind of jokingly being like, oh, one day I'm going to live in the Eddy in East Boston, which for those not familiar with the city, the Eddy's like a nice luxury building in East Boston. And I was like, I'll live in the Eddy and I'll cover the rent and all you got to do is buy groceries. And then like we made, you know what I mean? You talk about it, you believe in it, you make it happen. And then sure enough, that's what we're doing. And it was the same for like silly stuff. I knew I was going to drive a Ford F-150 truck, from a little kid.
Yeah.
Did it, I knew wholeheartedly without a shadow of a doubt we would get pregnant, boom, did it. Now, there is definitely a stat out there that says like those that are more educated are more depressed because they know all the statistics.
So what are you saying?
But good old Jingle Bells over here. There's something about just having Disney Plus as your brain. It's very optimistic, very positive.
But it has. I mean, you said we were gonna have a girl first. We're having a girl first.
Like from out of the gate.
So I think I'm just marrying or married. I'm already married. I guess I married a psychic.
You can call me Oz.
Yeah.
Houdini.
What else? Am I gonna get my truck? What else do I get? All right, awesome. So that's really good. So going off of that, someone said, "How did you track your ovulation?" This is something I actually spoke about last week and definitely want to talk about more. I have received so many DMs from people. I mean, it was something that like we had to slightly learn. I did know more about like my cycles just because of also my endometriosis, because it's something that like I kind of had to know. Your like a woman's cycle is so important to not just trying to conceive, one, also preventing pregnancy, but also like, why are you breaking out? Like what foods to eat during certain cycles? And like, those were things that, I mean, you like wanted to learn and you did like so amazing knowing what cycles are what and like when we were able to conceive and all that. But I've gotten so many DMs from women who, like, hey, I've been trying for like X amount of months and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, like, during your ovulation window. And they're like, what's an ovulation window? And at first I was like, how don't you know this? And I'm like, oh, no one teaches us.
Right.
Like, it's actually really, really sad. And there's such a science. Although, yes, you do see like some teenagers or some people just like get pregnant. Absolutely. But when you're actively trying to conceive, like there's such a science to it. There's literally like your fertility window for most people is about 5 days. And there's only one day that actively like the sperm can meet the egg. But like it's
how crazy.
It's so like all these people like accidentally getting pregnant. Like, do you know how like 1 in 30 days that is?
Right.
So what we used was I got the Aura ring, which was definitely an expensive purchase, but we wanted to be on top of it. That tracks your temperature, which can track when you would ovulate. And then I was able to sync this is like an ad, but it truly worked. Like I paid full price for this myself. But Aura Ring, wear it every day, every night. It links to your natural cycles. It'll tell you when they think you're ovulating. You confirm with LH tests, and then like you're pretty much good to go. I would say you listen to your body. Like, I personally, not to be TMI, but like I wasn't someone who could do it every single day. Like do it as much like every other day or whatever you can just for like your best chances. And continue praying.
Same. Sometimes a fella needs a break.
But yeah, so basically that's that. And I would say if it's 6 months to a year and it's not working and you're doing all that, just like have an open conversation with your doctor, get some blood work done, advocate for yourself. It's definitely a very lonesome and stressful time. But yeah.
This one's on the more lighter note. Whose accent do you think she'll learn? Like, could you imagine we're holding a little breezy baby. And then you're singing to her, you know, and then all of a sudden it's just like, you know, they're going to pick, like, I look at our nephew and he's like such a sponge. Anything you say, he repeats.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be on the phone with my mother and I'll be like, all right, love you. Talk to you soon. And Roman's in the back seat. Okay, love you. Talk to you soon. Like, they're going to pick up on your accent like hotcakes. And I'm about it. I think if the whole family wants to go on a duck boat and slurp clam chowder instead of Gerber, I'll co-sign it. You know, I got no problem with it.
I know. I said, like, when we talk to like Roman and like your side of the family for the little kids, like you said, Roman's such a sponge. I do try to like completely shut off my accent because I'm like, all right, it's one thing if our kid has an accent, but like Sean is from New Hampshire. Like, she doesn't want her kid not knowing how to speak properly. So I do try to turn it off for like him. But I was like, even if I try to turn it off for our kids, they're gonna go see Nana and Gramps and Auntie Jade, Uncle Mike, Auntie Nikki, and like
Ashley's side of the family has so many just thick Italian, Boston purebreds. I think honestly, the Boston accent could be hereditary. Have we checked that? Modern day science. Mm?
I just think, I mean, they won't be living in Boston, so I don't know if it'll be. I don't think our kids' accent.
Home.
Right. But I don't think the accent will be as strong as like me and my family's, because they're definitely not hearing it in school where like I was in school and my teachers sounded like me. So they're teaching us as well. But yeah, I'm sure they'll say "ka" for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'll be this one's right under there. We've talked about this before, but it is, how do you guys decide on your finances? Who handles what in the relationship?
Right, I'm not eating a donut. By the way, thanks for buying this for me.
Did I buy that for you?
Well, I loaded my Dunks card with your credit card, so yeah. I just thought it'd be good for my finances.
Your Dunks credit card is you loaded my Dunks credit card onto your Dunks account.
Because with Amex, you get points back, so I'm giving you points back.
My Amex.
Mm-hmm. You get points back. You're welcome.
This is how we divvy up finances, gang, for better or for worse. So take this with a grain of salt. This is what works for us. And works in air quotes because we're still working on it. I've heard couples that do 50-50, which I think is interesting. Mm-hmm. We have a good friend of ours. They do 50-50. Mm-hmm. I think that totally, I respect it. That works for them. For us, as you've seen on the show, it just doesn't work for us, you know? And I also think there's a good argument to that. I think we're a little more old school. I think the guy, this again, can't preface it enough. This is what works for us financially. I, as the guy, cover all bills: rent, utilities, electrical, water,
food,
date
nights,
gas, insurance, truck payment, all that stuff is for me. Meanwhile, Ashley is creating life. I think that gets overlooked.
Yeah.
You, as a guy, you want your wife to split bills with you. Meanwhile, she's splitting cells to create, new life in her own body.
Yeah. I'm going a whole extra organ. I'm going many organs for the baby, but my placenta, I can grow a whole extra organ.
Right. Like, I think it's a little unfair and a little unreasonable to be like, look, I know you're producing like hearts, lungs, legs, limbs, phalanges, brains, cells, penises, giners, right? And then I know once the baby does come out, you're going to use your own nipples to feed it, and your body's creating nutrients for the thing you just created. But we did go out to the 99s, and I'd love if we could split the bill 50-50. It sounds a little crazy, doesn't it? Doesn't that seem a little unreasonable at the end of the day? These useless nipples? Think about if the roles were reversed, and Ashley's like, look, I'm going to feed the baby during the day, but if you could use your nipples at night, that'd be great.
Yeah. Can you imagine how funny
useless aviolas.
Aviola, okay.
Was that right? Aviolas?
It was close.
Aviola?
Areola.
Oh.
AV is like aviation, planes.
Look at these flying nipples. Crazy. So yeah, that just works for us. I handle the finances. Ashley handles creating life. Mm-hmm. And she'll do, And you don't want me on the educational side with the kids. You know,
You'll be sitting there reading the books with the kids.
Yeah. I told my wife, hey, when you teach Breezy, our little baby girl, how to read, do you mind if I sit in on that? Because I have the reading level of about a third grader, you know? Did Hooked on Phonics, never got hooked. So when you go over that chapter, if I could just...
You really don't give yourself enough credit, though.
Peer in, you know?
But no, I agree. And like we said, this is what works for us. At the end of the day, before you move in or decide to start a life with somebody, definitely just make sure that you have that conversation and that you're also comfortable with it. Not every relationship is going to look the way ours do. You know, we're in a very fortunate situation as well. But I am always very confused because, like, someone asked us, like, how do you not become roommates with your, like, significant other? And I saw this girl on TikTok, no judgment, it's what works for them, and that's absolutely amazing. But she was saying that what they do is, like, one person will buy the dinner, and then the other person will Venmo them. And I'm like, I don't even do that with my sisters. I'm not saying he has to always pay for the dinners too, like, that's your relationship. But to Venmo them after, I'm just confused. What if, like, you get it the next time? You know, like, me and my sisters, when we go out to dinner, all three of us, like, okay, I get it this time. We're going to go out again next time. It might not be dollar to dollar equal, but again, we're not roommates.
Right.
But just have that conversation, whatever works for you. I think especially if one person makes more than the other person, it's not really fair that one person's going to sit there struggling to give you the half, where the other person, it's nice and easy. So just whatever works.
Prefer to do.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, people found it really funny. I remember, like, episodes and episodes and episodes ago, I posted about how I personally don't love to work. You do. And they're like, no one likes to work. No. I had to not beg you. Our honeymoon was great. But, like, we go on vacation. Kevin brings his laptop. He loves to work. When we got a couples massage. He not sent me. I absolutely love Jan. Me and his mother went for the couples massage because Kevin's like, I hate relaxing. Like, I can use that hour to work. Why would I go lay and have someone?
Can I have my laptop under the table?
Yeah.
That little donut.
So, like, that gives you, like, purpose and adrenaline. Like, for me, like, genuinely, I think it's the Italian in me. Like, but I genuinely love making our house a home. Mm-hmm. I love making sure, like, the fridge is stocked and, like, it's clean and building a life and making the bed. You made the bed the other day, and I'm so grateful for that. But I was like, do you see how diagonal this is?
Cadet Kelly over here.
Yeah. Like,
you know what I don't do in the household? I don't cook. I don't clean. But when you want it, I'll give you my ween. Gobble me, swallow me.
That was actually really good. You did make steak tips last night, though, and they were really, really great.
Right.
But I think you just got to find what works for you, find what gives you passion. For some people, both people love to work, and maybe that means, like, you hire a cleaner. Like, you just got to do what works for your relationship. This genuinely works for our relationship. No one feels belittled or taken advantage of. We've had this conversation. It's what works for us. We don't feel like roommates in that sense.
Mm-hmm. And I think the people outside listening in will be like, you know, we talk about this all the time. Like, Kevin's doing more in the relationship, but what do I say to you almost nightly?
Well, because I always think you're doing more, and you're like, you keep saying, you say, I could make us trillions a day, and I will never be able to do what you're doing creating that life.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't create life. I can't feed life with my own body. Like, when you think of how useless the male body is, it's insane. You know? It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Did you have another one? I have some dark ones, but maybe let's volley for you.
I had some, like, what's the weirdest craving? I feel like, I don't know, maybe you can help me with this too. I feel like I haven't had any, like, weird cravings. However, you and I want to do, like, a video trying people's weird cravings. But I think my cravings have really just been, like, I've definitely gone back to, and people say you go back to, like, comfort. So I've gone back to comfort shows too, but chocolate milk every single night. Cereal, sugary cereals too. Smuckers. But I don't think I've had any weird ones, have I? Lots of cheese. I can't get enough cheese.
Yeah, you love cheese.
Dude, I can eat a block of cheddar at night now. Really good. But no weird ones. But we have to try those. I'm really excited. Like, there was, like, pickles dipped in, like, chocolate, which I feel like that can't taste that weird. Like,
you
I like pickles, I like chocolate.
Yeah, pickles and cereal for a while was your go-to.
Pickles just, like, didn't make you sick.
Right.
You know, it's not that I'm, like, craving a pickle. It's just, like... It just
we can
wasn't
cut the show right now.
But, yeah.
No, I agree. You haven't really had any wild...
I hope they come just because it's funny.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll get there.
Yeah.
This one's a little dark. How do I get the confidence and strength to leave my husband? 8 years of neglect and abuse.
So sad.
Yeah. And we would need like much more context here. And we are by no means licensed in anything,
Yeah.
I don't even know if I have a good answer, honestly, because it's such a
I think
foreign space, and you just don't know what's happening, behind closed doors.
it's definitely like tougher, obviously, when you're married now because you have to go through full divorce. I don't know if they have kids in it, but I mean, especially if you have kids in it, like you want to show your kid, you don't want your kids to go through that same cycle too. So, you want to show them like your strength in leaving, that you're not just going to put up with someone like mistreating you. But also you went through 8 years of this. Do you want to do it again for the next 8 years? Next 16 years?
The answer is you got to leave.
Yeah.
So now we know our exit. Now I think it's just you got to come up with whatever the appropriate plan is.
Yeah.
To leave safely.
And I think one thing too is like you're in the worst of it right now. Like, well, potentially, hopefully it doesn't get even more worse, but like you leaving, as tough as it is going to be better than what you're in right now.
Mm-hmm. Volley for serve. Why don't you kick us off with the next question here?
Let's see. This kind of goes into like what we were talking about for a lot of things. If your significant other looks at marriage differently than you, should that be a red flag? I think yes.
Totally.
Like that's your life. I don't think people always realize, and like I think a lot of women specifically too always think they can change someone. Oh, if they love me enough, they'll do this. Like when someone doesn't want kids and the other one does. Also, it's unfair to them to force them, and then your kids will grow up with, whether it's the mom or dad, like a parent who didn't want them.
Yeah.
And might not be present for them.
Right.
So yes, of course, like maybe you're 18 years old and the other person's like, I'm not ready for marriage. And you like, okay, that's something you can like discuss. But if you're a grown ass adult and you really want a marriage and they don't, either you sit in this relationship and waste your time in finding the person who wants the same things as you do.
It's amazing how many, we realize this in pre-Cana. It's crazy how many couples don't talk.
Yeah.
Don't talk about how many kids they want. Don't talk about marriage. Don't talk about roles in the house. Don't talk about religion. Don't talk about in-laws. Like we literally did that in a 6-hour date at M Street Beach for our first date.
Yeah.
We literally sat down. It was like that sound. I think it's, I believe it's from Home Alone. And he's like, what do you do for work? How much you make after taxes? Believe in God? Kids.
Yeah.
Marriage?
You have to.
Parents divorced or together? Got a house or a condo? You rent or own? Car you drive? Lease did you buy? We were both like, check.
And like those things can't change. Like, do you remember in the beginning of our relationship, like you were brand new to move into the city. So you were like, this is amazing. And I was still in the part where I was like, I could never leave Boston.
Yeah.
And you and I truly thought we were going to live in like a high rise and raise our kids there. And then as our relationship grew and we both realized together, like, oh no, we want space and land and like grass. Like, so things can change. Like,
say it together.
What's the word?
Just the last word.
I know, but I can think of it.
Demure.
Oh. Demure. Well, now there's a new one, demurtsy, because it's cutesy and demure.
Okay, we have to review this. This isn't even a question. My entire feed is, and I can't get enough of it.
Really?
The TikTok girl drama. Oh,
the redhead girl.
Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me.
Yeah, it's
I don't want mindful. I don't want cutesy. I don't want demure. I want Miss Little Ginger Ale to just be dragged through the mud for what she's done. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
For those of you that know, you know. I'm not even going to try to explain it for those that don't, but let's just say.
I mean, but then everyone's giving her trillions and billions of views.
Right.
Here, so, I mean.
Right. But if you steal it.
Making the bag.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. I can't. It's just. It's so not mindful. It's so not cutesy. It's so not demure. What was it? Demuritsy. You're going
to be such a good girl, Dad.
I'm so excited.
You're like, so girls, what's the tea?
I cannot wait to sit down at an actual little tea party and just talk outrageous shit about other toddlers.
We have to teach them manners, honey.
Obviously, I'm not going to go in there and drop like the C word. Like, here's what you tell little Denise the next time you go to daycare.
Also, please don't name your baby Denise.
You name your child whatever you want to name it, okay? I gave this advice. I did this. I put this on my story last night, but this kid said, how does he get over a breakup? She has her claws in me, man. I can't think about anything else. And I actually, as a guy, I kind of get this because it's like, you're with a girl for a long period of time. You break up. You feel like your entire world is shattered. I'll give you exactly what I did. And you and I are similar in this. We've gone through our fair share of breakups. The moment a breakup happens, you feel like the world is over. It's doom and gloom. You'll never get over this pain. Seconds feel like years. And you're drowning in your own self-pity, and you feel like the world's just passing you by. I feel like, who's that mom radio host in like the 90s? Delilah.
Okay.
Delilah, I want to play a song for you, sweetie. Slop on my knob.
I'm so happy I never.
All right,
to that.
that would be a hilarious bit. You play Delilah, but instead of giving like nice relationship songs, you play like Here's what I did to get over a breakup. You have to get uncomfortably busy, and people are like, I worked out for an hour today, and I went to work. I'm still thinking about her. No, I mean like every waking moment that you are not asleep needs to be met with some sort of activity. Fitness is great. Starting a business is great. Picking up more shifts at work is great. Figuring out new sources of income. When I got out of a breakup, you know what I did? I flipped furniture that I got for free on Facebook Marketplace and paid off $60,000 of student loan debt in 2 years. I said this last night on my stories. You know how many couches? $60,000 in $100 to $200 increments. Sometimes you sell a love seat for $35.
Yeah.
You know like that, uncomfortably busy. And then before you know it, like days go by and you're like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about them today. Oh, it's been a week. Whoa, what's happening here? It's been a week and my bank account is way up. You know, and now all of a sudden it's been a year of it, and then you're like, oh, who, that, and then you're looking at old videos that you filmed of yourself crying in the mirror, and you're like, I didn't do that. That's easy. I'm talking probably him who asked the question. He probably filmed it. You know?
Oh boy.
Get uncomfortably busy. That's what helped for me.
Yeah.
Any advice there on the ladies' side?
I think like while I was in it, like you said, it just feels like your world is ending. So. You know, I wish I could go back and like smack her. Honestly, you don't even like when people are like, I wish I could go back and hug my younger self. No, I wish I could go back and beat the shit out of my younger self.
Smack a lady tonight.
Yeah, but I think what I always tell my friends now, because it is really tough too. Like, I know the difference to like a lot of my friends. It's not only getting over a breakup, but it's just like, when will I find my person? Mm-hmm. And it's tough because it's like, I don't know. You could I was telling my friend the other day, I'm like, we went and got breakfast. I'm like, on your drive home right now, you could get into a car accident and the person you hit is your husband. I hope you don't. But you just like don't know. But that's like the toughest part, not knowing. But I think what I always try to tell my friends now is like, they've seen me cry over, I've had like 2 boyfriends my entire life before you, but they've seen me cry and think my world was ending. And mind you, these people treated me like shit, but you get so attached to them. It is so true with like your person. We were talking about this the other day. I grew up in Boston, but my family had a lake house the town over from you. From you in a different state. So there's one road basically to get in and out of these 2 cities. Like the amount of times Tiff and I probably passed each other, literally though, like in cars, like growing up, or like we both went on cruises every like February and April or a few times February and April.
You went on a cruise every year, girl. Yeah. I got one. We went on one family vacation.
2
in this Irish household.
But so we could have been on the same cruise. Like you always see those pictures of people like in the other ones in the back. Like we could have just missed each other so many times. I went to UNH where all of your friends went. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know if you've ever went for parties, but we could have been at the same party. Like,
oh yes.
The amount of times you and I both went to Southie Sundays before we met, you easily could have hit on me and I could have been like, fuck off, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? So your person will not pass you by. Kevin and I met and started talking in the beginning, not even the middle, the beginning of a pandemic when the world was truly shut down. So your person will not pass you by. Like if if you're going through a heartbreak right now and they like left and is with someone else or, you know, whatever, that's not your person. It's so hard to see in the moment, but like you need to truly believe like you'll be okay. Your person's coming. It sucks. Get busy. You got this.
I like that.
You know?
Very well said.
Thanks.
Did you have one or I have a...
No, a lot of them are what we've already answered.
Okay. I got an interesting one here. Interesting question. I quit my toxic job before I had something else lined up, and I am feeling foolish. That is foolish, okay? This is going to be, I'm going to give you a non-watered down self-assessment here that you need because your friends are lying to you, and you might need an outsider's opinion here. I needed this, you know? I worked at a company called Toast before going full-time in social. I would have never, ever, 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 ever quit Toast before my income at my side hustle matched or exceeded my income at my day job. That should be your new rule. No matter how listen, if the job is abusing you, sure, get out of town. But you know who doesn't really give a damn is your bills. First of the month, your rent is due. No matter if you're feeling happy, sad, lucky, ashamed, your rent is still due, right? Your phone payment is still due. Your car insurance is still due. Your payment on your vehicle still due. So here's your new rule. You are not leaving your day job until your side hustle exceeds the income you make during your day job. Then you can jump, and you know how not scary it is to jump ship when the other ship is like a luxury cruise liner, you know? You're like swinging from the Black Pearl right now on a vine, and then you look out and you're like, where's the other ship? And now you're in the water swimming, you know? And we see this all the time with people that want to get into social. They want to leave their day job to create content online and blow up and be famous and make all the monies and all that stuff. That world does not exist. It is a slow, long process. You'll see they call them unicorns in the tech industry space, companies that start and then get traded for like $1 billion. There'll be unicorns out there. There'll be Alex Earls and there'll be Hawk Tuas that what virtually seems like overnight they've become famous and you're like, woe is me, right? And now every girl doing a street interview is like, I'll spit on your butt.
Ew.
Do I have the following yet? It's not going to happen that fast. Like for us, it was 10 videos a day, every day for the first year with zero traction. You know, in some instances, almost negative traction. Like I had my own twin sister be like, Kevin's kind of a tough sell. You know, how's he going to find a lover if he's putting out weird videos that no one's watching? You know, like it's never cool until the thing you're doing becomes like big and cool. Yeah. You know, so it's a slow grind, you know?
I half agree with what you're saying from the beginning. Because yes, of course, like you leave your job and then suddenly like you can't afford your bills. Absolutely 100%. But I think about how I was so miserable in healthcare and I left and went and did retail for a little bit until I found.
But this person's saying they're losing their job. That I'm with you on. The exact question is I quit my toxic job before I had something else lined up.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling foolish.
Yeah.
You left healthcare and had sales lined up.
Yeah.
You left sales and had a Botox job lined up. You left Botox and you had a sweat house deal lined up.
Yeah. No, okay, yes, 100%. It wasn't like a career change from there, but I had something that was going to bring me in an income. Yeah. I guess my thing is like, why weren't you looking then if you were so miserable in that job? Like, why, even if it was just retail or like I made more money waitressing than I ever did in any of my jobs. Like, why didn't you at least have some, it didn't have to be a career next step lined up, but have something that's at least, you know, not going to make you be miserable, still going to bring you in money. And then when you're there, at least you're going to be like more clear of mind and you can look for your next career job. Right. But to have absolutely nothing lined up, like I hope you have a savings of $200,000.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's I could see your face turn but every time you left a career path, you had something else.
Yeah, I never just
imagine
went home.
Leaving Mass Gen and you're like, well,
I guess I'll go look now.
Yeah. Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah, no.
There's one more good one that I'm trying to dig up here.
What are you most excited for to be a dad?
Ooh. I'm excited to see a half you, half me.
Right.
In this world. You know, it's kind of cool. It's crazy thinking that like two complete strangers can meet, fall in love, get married, and then produce offspring, that Breezy herself will go off into the world. Hopefully, all fingers crossed, will be a positive contributing member to society. Like that is really cool.
Yeah. I think it's funny when you say like half me, half you, because like you and I are always like, we are the same person. So I am so interested to see, like, I think we're going to see so much in her, like being able to be like, oh my God, like her dad does that. Or her mom does that. Because me and you like just know each other so well now. And we say all the same things that it's like we don't see the differences sometimes, you know?
Tell you what I'm not excited for. The double target runs that we're about to do. Because if she is anything like her mother.
She will be.
Wow. I remember when Ashley and I first started dating, Ashley literally said with a straight face, you know what I love? I love the sound a point of sale machine makes when you swipe your credit card and it beeps. And I was like, this won't work out. I got to get out of here. Now we're married with a kid, you know?
Yep.
You know what my biggest flex is? Is that I can turn a back rub into a mortgage payment and having a baby, you know? So that could be you guys.
Try to do the math on that one.
You know?
Yeah. But can you picture her with like her little red cot? Daddy, we need this.
We don't.
And you won't be able to say no to her at all. She's going to come home. I'm going to come home. She'll probably have like 2 words said. She'll be like 14 months.
Shop in.
And yeah, that'll be her first word.
Credit card.
We'll be like, what happened? And I'll be like, she wanted it. You'll be like, she's an infant. Girl wants what she wants, you know?
Oh, God. Ridiculous. Coming in hot. We have how many?
About 5.
5 months.
Yeah. 23 and a half weeks.
For those listening and not watching, Ashley is sporting quite the baby bump these days. Do tune into that.
I do still get like people, and I'm honestly not offended by it at all. Other people might be, but I do definitely still get the like, are you sure it's not twins in there? And I'm like, I'm 5'1". Where else do you want this baby to go?
Right.
But
well, I'm very proud of you. Yeah. It's been amazing to watch you literally glowing as we started this episode with your radiant baby skin.
Thanks.
It's been really cool to see you handle pregnancy, and I'm so excited to see you become a little mommy.
Thank you.
5 months. Wow.
I know. Remember, like the day you were doing the math and the day we announced. So we announced at like 12 weeks. Because like, all right, 9 months. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
6 months now.
Lost in the sauce with the timing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know.
And it's 5 months going into the holiday season, which.
So it flies.
Yeah. You'll do one bang, snap, clap, a bang, snap, clap. Oh, that was my evil twin just got a missed call from her. Let's see what's going on in the dating world.
Well, let her know that she's on.
Hello.
Season's greetings. You are live and on the air in the Cooney show.
Oh, gosh. Being put on the spot here.
What's going on?
Nothing. I was on my lunch break.
Oh.
On a chit chat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's chit chat about you, huh? What?
Oh, I'd rather do anything but.
2 things. One, we have to get you in here for we got to get Jade in here as well.
Yeah, you keep canceling on me. I get a Google alert for a calendar invite, and then I cancel the next day. So.
Bless you.
You're just as
Double bless you.
as the guys in Boston.
Oh. Guys in Boston, home of the tall ships and the short kings. Am I right?
Oh, yes.
Oh, goodness gracious. And then 2, can I call you in like 15 minutes?
Yeah.
All righty. Well, sounds like a plan.
All right. Have a good show.
All right. Hugs and kisses. Love you. Bye. Well, we do got to do a sibling show with Jade, your sister, and Colleen for sure. Any other closing thoughts over there from a pregnant lady?
Ooh. No, but I just say like for people who are going through it, like don't let people tell you. My biggest pet peeve is when people will like tell me like, ugh, just wait till this hits or just wait till this hits. Like, yes, I think we all know when you are, of course, also actively trying to get pregnant that we might have some sleepless nights, that my body might be in pain, but like, you know, what's even more cool is like how beautiful it is that your body can create life, that we're going to have a little baby that's half of me and half of you. So one, I think, you know, I think we all like, not all, we all, but a lot of people like love the attention from negativity. Like, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing we're doing. Why don't we, like, instead of saying, like, just wait till the nausea kicks in, just ignore that. Just be like, just wait till you get to hold your little baby. Yeah. Like, don't let people scare you with that, because it makes me really, really, I love this chapter. And it hasn't been the easiest pregnancy. It hasn't been, like, the most difficult, but, like, I've been passing out left and right, and I have had the nausea.
Like a party trick.
Oh, yeah. But, like, I would still take all of that for a healthy baby. Yeah. So I just think, like, it's such a huge change in your life. Like, let's remain positive and just be positive about that. Because it makes me really sad when people want to bring you down in your happiness, Yeah.
It's very trendy to be negative.
Yeah.
And look at you, just a beacon of light out there in the world. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for us here, but we need your help before we go. Ashley and I are dropping vlogs weekly on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can go to Ashley's link in bio or my link in bio to get to YouTube. Also, we read all reviews of the show, good or bad. So if you're like, hey, this show blows, leave a review. I want to see it. Yeah. And if you're like, oh, this show's the what's a new
the tits.
The tits.
Yeah.
This show's totally tinsel. It is almost Christmas on the retail calendar.
I like that. Yeah.
Let your sleigh bells slay. And why don't you go over there and leave a review on what you think of the show. You can do that on Spotify, podcast app, wherever you listen to your episodes. Really.
Yeah.
I
love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the No Limits Podcast. Bit of a change coming up, gang. Be on the lookout for that. Hugs and kisses. Absolutely. Love ya.